how about a little gratitude? How about a little gratitude towards these Christians you demonize all the time? How about a little thank you for stopping and restraining the hordes from going over with their enormous technology and just putting you barbarians to the sword? Because we could.
Yeah, you made the argument that there was a part of the debate where I think you said it'll never happen. You guys will never take over because you're always going to need us.
Not militarily.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to do it because you're going to need us. Your point with that was militarily.
Yes. Yeah, they could perhaps breed us out over time because of birth rates and other various things like this. But all you have to do right now is just look at the situation that they're in to note that they have a serious, serious problem here with mass organization and mobilization, and that has a lot to do with IQ. They hate Jews. Muslims hate Jews to the point of, I mean, it's wild how much they loathe them. This is an ancient conflict, by the way, and whether you say that it's right or wrong that they hate them, we can at least acknowledge that they do. Well, they have 9 million Jews in their backyard, and they can't do anything to them.
That was the point you were making.
Yeah, they can't do anything to them.
Yeah.
These people are completely and totally surrounded, right? And they just whip the shit out of them every time they get into an engagement. And it's because the IQ of Jew, and by the way, they bring up, for instance, they'll say, oh, well, there's incest and inbreeding in Israel too. It's true, but it's very low, very, very low percentage. And most of it, guess what? When you look into the stats on inbreeding, it's the Palestinians. That's where you get most of the stats from.
Israel.
In Israel, it's the Palestinians who are doing the inbreeding. And so it's like, all you got to do is look at the IQ difference between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And then you realize, if we're looking at it from a pure view of like might makes right, that the Palestinians are completely and totally at the mercy of the Jews in that area. They just are. Objectively, they are. There's no way for them to take on this advanced civilization. But what's ironic about it is neither can any of the other sophisticated nations around. Pakistan, for instance, they have nukes. Can they even deliver them? You know, can these low IQ, 65% inbred people even deliver these nukes? I'm not even sure that they can. And so this was the point that I was ready to make. Regardless of where you fall in the Israeli-Palestine conflict, I'm not making a prescription here for what Israel is doing is right or wrong or anything in between. I'm just making the observation that 9 million of you versus the entire Arab world, and the 9 million seem to be doing all right. There's got to be some reasons here. And if you look at the technological and IQ differences, it becomes very obvious what those reasons are.
What is the Muslim population around Israel? Is it a billion plus? What is the Muslim population around Israel?
I think directly around it, it's not
600 million?
Probably.
Can you check, Rob, what is the Muslim population around Israel? Meaning surrounding countries. Total. So the only one, Indonesia wouldn't be there. So that's a big number that's going to be out. So if you, total number, what do you pull up, Rob?
Well over 100 million Muslims in the broader region.
Yeah.
So over
Jordan,
100 million.
Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq.
And those 100 million cannot take out the 9 million.
That not only can they not, it's actually worse. It appears to me, from a logistical military standpoint, with Israel plus Israel's allies, which they've cultivated, which again takes a lot of high IQ diplomacy and things like this and integration to do, they whip the shit out of them. They recently had an exchange with Iran. And not only was the Iranian propaganda awful, I mean, you remember the X propaganda from Iran? You know, oh, the war strikes, we got one missile through. You know, they sent the whole payload, got one missile through, and they were dancing like they did something. And it's like, they were on the losing end of that very quickly. And that was without, now it is true that there was U.S. allies which were assisting the Israelis with this. But you have the entire Arab region as your allies to assist you. And it appears to me like if they went to war with Israel, they would probably actually lose collectively because of the inability to do mass mobilization, to have military command structures which are decent, and their ability to have kind of like when you look at military logistics, it's very complex and it requires a ton of middle management. Middle management usually starts around 100 IQ. upper management, you get to like, 120, 130, stuff like this. But you need to have at least 95 to 100 just to have middle management. And logistics, it's all middle management. And so it's like, I don't think that they would fare all that well.
So your debate, the angle you took was purely IQ, and that became a talk of town when you did that.